All right. Go ahead.
We were talking with the front office yesterday. One of the things that kept getting brought up was you guys' play style this year and how it might look different without Ty, the way he plays, how often he has the ball. What do you anticipate trying to do this year in terms of the style you guys have had that won you so many games in the past that was informed by him versus the team you actually have on the floor this year style-wise?
Yeah, there will be some adjustments. There will be some adjustments as we start and keep moving forward. Ty is really such an unusually important player to us. On the one hand, on the other hand, our core principles we want to keep the same. I mean, most of it begins with hard play and fast hard play, and so we'll make the adjustments we need to make, but we've got to be excited about the opportunity that some guys have in his stead this year, and it'll be a lot of work, but it'll be great.
Keep along the lines of guys getting some opportunities. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Ben Mathurin in the past and how he could sometimes be asked to play two different styles, and one that sort of most naturally fits the way you guys want to play, and also his sort of ability to score in isolation or go get a bucket. I mean, how does this situation complicate and or just generally just I don't know if alter is development word, but how does it change, I guess, that challenge of trying to get across how you wanted to play big picture for how this team wants to win a championship, but also how he might need to play on a given night to win you a game?
We just need him to run hard, shoot open shots that are there, and make simple reads offensively. Defensively, the challenges might be greater defensively. There's a very good chance that he'll be asked to guard the ball in a lot of situations, and so I think we got to be careful about just focusing on offense and all that kind of stuff. Our game is played best when it's fast and simple.
I think you mentioned, in a podcast talking about the importance of protecting Andrew Nemhart. You just mentioned the possibility of Ben guarding the ball. What all do you think goes into that? I mean, what are some things that you have to keep in mind with Andrew when you're asking him? Obviously, he's still, I'm sure, going to have an important defensive assignment. What do you have to keep in mind now that he's going to be a lead point guard and as important as he is defensively?
Yeah, I mean, with Ty out, we lose. This is assuming that the lineup is as projected with Mathurin at 2 and Aaron at 3. There's no second primary ball handler. Pascal would be the other primary ball handler with that group. So instead of 3, including Pascal, now there's 2, and so a lot more playmaking responsibility on Andrew. And then he always has a lot of defensive responsibility. And then look, ultimately it's probably going to be the minutes. So we can't play the guy into oblivion. And so there's opportunity on this roster for some other people to play point guard minutes.
What are you thinking going in as far as the center position is concerned? I know it's generally by committee, but what are you, not just about who starts, but I mean, what are you looking for in terms of how you determine a rotation, who fits with what other combinations, what all are you trying to learn about the center position in this camp?
Yeah, we have 4 guys that really are very, very good, and they all bring something different. A lot of this we just got to play it out in training camp and the preseason games, and see what's what. I don't have any preconceived notions as to who's going to start. Isaiah Jackson's been working with that group more of the time in the pickup games, etc. Huff's ability to shoot the ball and block shots, but particularly his ability to space is going to be something that's going to be an important ingredient to any offense. And then, Tony Bradley he's just a really sound, solid, fundamental player that plays a simple but very effective game. And James Wiseman is fully healthy. He was one of the guys that in our conditioning tests actually was one of the last guys to drop out, And so, he's a 7'1" guy that can really run and has a big presence around the basket. So a lot of exciting possibilities.
What did you like about DeLon Wright? Obviously, you got to see him a little bit in the in Eastern Conference Finals last year against the Knicks. How do you feel like he fits into this group? Certainly, I imagine you wanted, it was really important to get a third ball handler to do this spring camp.
Yeah, DeLon's a good NBA player. He played for us in Dallas. He's had good stints in a lot of places. This is an opportunity for him. Monte Morris ended up unable to come to camp because of a leg injury, and so this was kind of a last-second add. DeLon happened to be available. I thought he played well for New York last year. We played him in the Eastern Conference Finals, and so there's an opportunity there for him. He's been here for a couple days. I worked him out yesterday. Seems to be in a good place physically and mentally, and so I think our style suits his abilities quite well.
Rick, what do you need to see from Jarris Walker for him to earn more rotation minutes?
Well, I think it's important to note that Jarris played over 15 minutes a game last year. He played a lot of minutes. Ben Mathurin played over 2,000 minutes. I mean, these two guys are brought up a lot in conversations about development, minutes, this, that, and the other. If there's one thing as an organization that maybe I'm most proud of, is that we have been able over the last 2 years not only to win in the playoffs, but we've been able to develop players while doing that. Jarris played a pretty significant role with his minutes in a couple of those playoff series, and then the New York series, the injury that he sustained in Game 6 prevented him from being in the finals, and he would have been a guy in the finals that could have been a difference maker for us with his versatility and all the different things that he can do. At the beginning and end of it, guys that are drafted high, face sort of the expectation of stats and scoring numbers and stuff like that. I mean, our team really, the way we play and our style, and we're in the state of Indiana where the sacred purity of the game is like so important. It's none of that. It's how hard are you playing? How consistent is your motor? How unselfish are you? And can you sustain a hard, fast-paced offensively and full-court defensively? So, Jarris can do all those things. It took him a while to recover from the ankle this summer, but once he did, we encouraged him to get in the best shape of his life. I think he's there, and so this is an exciting time for him.
What are you hoping to see or expecting to see from Johnny Furphy this year?
I love Furphy. I mean, the guy plays balls out, fast, hard. He's one of our best cutters, one of our best rebounders, crashers. He's grown. He's gotten stronger. You guys saw the highlights from the summer league. He's an aggressive guy, and so this year, we're going to need that kind of defiant attitude with all of our guys and how they compete. And he and Shepard are two guys. They're just run through a wall guys. I mean, they just go hard, and they're going to be very important for us.
Hey coach, French journalist.
Ça va?
Ça va vous?
Yeah.
We've seen a decline in the number of female assistants in the NBA, but an increase in the head coach position in the NCAA and the WNBA. What can you say about this trend?
An increase in what?
In head coach position of female head coach in the W and in NCAA, and the decline of female assistants in the NBA. What can you say?
We have two female assistants.
That's why I'm asking.
Jenny Musik's on the front of the bench. She's a defensive coordinator, and she is changing the game. And we have Lauren James as part of our basketball analytics staff that sits behind the bench, holds the iPad, and so we're great believers in the ability of women to be effective and very successful in the NBA. I can't speak so much for the rest of the league and what they're doing, but I know that for us, Jenny and Lauren are very important. One other thing I just want to announce to you guys: on the 17th, we play at San Antonio. It's our last exhibition game, last preseason game. I will not be at that game. I'll be at my daughter Abby's parents' formal for Kappa Kappa Gamma. And so Lloyd Pierce will coach that game and the staff will take it, but I will just miss that one day.
Another question. Fever coach Stephanie White mentioned that you often text each other after games, maybe.
Not during.
Why is it important for you to share your knowledge, your experience, and how is it important for you to support
It's not to share knowledge. I mean, I'm a big fan of hers. I'm learning a lot watching her coach. It's just encouragement and congratulations when they win, and that kind of stuff. It's just it's all encouraging stuff and just showing support and interest. And let's go Fever. Game 5 tomorrow night, man. Anything can happen.
Rick,
Time for one more here.
Rick, I know a lot of questions obviously about the players, but for you personally, what's your level of just enthusiasm, excitement to coach this group of guys this year?
Yeah, it's always high. We have such good people. Kevin and Chad just have done such a great job of bringing in the kind of character guys that people in the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis can embrace and relate to. And so, it's always exciting. We had a meeting last night. I talked to the team. I had looked back at my notes from 2021 when I first got here, when I first addressed the team, and I talked about. And I read these things to the guys last night. There were two things that were high on the list, and one was that we wanted to make the Pacers relevant again. With how we played, how we competed, all those kinds of things. Player empowerment, a style that our fans can relate to, and then Indiana values. Hard, family-oriented. Values, hard play, unselfish play, and the sacred purity of the game. And 4 years later, we've made great strides. At this point, we only have one player remaining that was at that first meeting. And so it speaks to the dynamic change that is a constant in this game, and that we all need to be ready to pivot on a moment's notice. But that dynamic element makes all of us more excited than ever. Thank you.
Appreciate it.